See,
Oh,
we
okay,
good?
there you go.
We good?
Yeah, yeah. At first, I was about to say, I couldn't hear you at first, but yeah.
All right, we good. Just make sure everything worked this time.
Are we are live.
All right, so trade deadline went down yesterday. A lot of player movement. Um, let's start with the whole Lakers thing. All right, how do you feel about LA finally um getting Russell Westbrook out of that locker room, out of that situation?
Uh for me as a fan of Westbrook, it's unfortunate. Honestly, I wish there was something that could have been better as far as as far as that situation as a whole. To be honest with you, Josh, man, but I guess you can say there's a I don't know, it's bittersweet for me. I would just say it's bittersweet. I think for both sides in terms of how the game was played with that team, how the game was played with that team was just I think it's just I don't want to say, we talked about it before a little bit like a while back about exposing weaknesses, but I think
Yes.
it's just like yeah, it was no that to me for the Lakers, I'm kind of glad he's gone for both sides, to be honest. Reason one, and I'll keep it short. Reason one for him, yeah, I mean, yeah, you want him to make all the changes in his game and things of that nature, but there was no, to me, there was no um compromise in terms of trying to add his game to that organization and to that team.
Yeah.
And secondly, if they felt like they couldn't do that in terms of then cool. Like I would rather him be gone. Y'all, you guys can do whatever it is that you want to do with LeBron and AD. They'll be happy, running whatever they want to run for that team. He can go somewhere where he can be, in the words of Kyrie, appreciated and not tolerated.
All right. So starting back at the top of this, the Lakers are um trading Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz along with
Hmm.
picks, and JTA and Damian Jones go to Utah Jazz as well. You have D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt going from Minnesota to LA, and Nikhil Alexander Walker to the Timberwolves along with Mike Conley Jr. One of the most frustrating parts of all this is now they're going to start winning games, and it's going to be like, oh, see, we told you. Not the part where they add in two elite shooters, a hustle guy, a rebound specialist, and another floor general. It's not like, you're just taking Russell off and then that's that. Because you also, if you did that, you would just have Patrick Beverly, Schroeder, Brown. I think Scottie Pippen Jr. was playing the other night. Max Christie,
Yeah,
he was starting. I mean, that's a very different outlook on things. And then also, I mean, you add in Rui, but he's been there a few games with Russell. But let's say you
right.
have Westbrook still, you still have Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. It's a very different team when you have now you have six or seven guys over the height of, I mean, there's that many guys taller than 6'3" on this roster just a few
Hmm.
weeks ago. So I mean, that's gonna be the annoying part about it. But the way ESPN talks about it, I think it was his wife Nina Westbrook. She went on Twitter and made a post talking about, hey, I have a lot of young kids in school that's hearing all these negative things you're saying about my husband that's untrue, because I don't believe that Westbrook has just been, dragging the locker room down, screaming and hollering, shouting and yelling and cussing everybody out on a regular basis, because there's countless clips of him
Right.
doing the exact opposite with his teammates. And every team that's ever had him in their locker room say the complete opposite of everything the media is saying. So I think this is a media
Exactly.
agenda. If you watch the video I posted about Kyrie Irving just earlier today, I mean, there's clearly something going on with these reporters and sources That's their
Hmm.
favorite word to throw out. All these sources,
Oh,
and
definitely.
nobody's putting a name to it because a lot of these things just simply aren't true. Um, let's put it like this, okay? Everybody talks about Westbrook's shooting percentage, okay, from three. He's shooting 29%. LeBron James is shooting 31. Anthony Davis is shooting 28. Let's talk about the turnovers. LeBron James has 3.1, Westbrook has 3.5. Not to mention, the person with the most turnovers in NBA history is LeBron. Westbrook is not far behind. So, by that premise, you should understand that you have two of the top five turnover people in NBA history on your roster. What did you think was going to happen if you didn't have shooters and defenders around the entire roster? I just
Right.
don't understand the logic behind the frustration. I'll get it. Changes had to be made, obviously. But making Westbrook the scapegoat for being 25 and 31, nice try. I
Right.
don't see that being a legit argument.
All the rotations, honestly, like even since last year, man, all the rotations, everything that they tried to do, never complimented him.
Ever.
Um,
Ever.
ever. Be honest, and I'm not just saying. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not at fault for whatever it is he's involved with in terms of his game
Mm-hmm.
in particular, but it's just like, yeah, that scapegoat conversation is just so
It's
it's
lazy.
just it's stupid. Yeah, it's
It's
very
lazy.
lazy. It's
It's
very
lazy.
lazy. And the fact that, like, there's a handful of guys that at this point in time right now, uh the media want to slander and shame. I even heard Stephen A the other day talk about, I think it was even yesterday, like, talking about, I think this is the last stop for Westbrook and things of that nature.
Oh yeah. Yep.
When
This
we
is
were
his last
comparing
chance. That was
his
Perk.
last, yeah, and it perked his last chance, and it's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, hey, look, everywhere this man went, he done carried the team to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you guys try to put him in a position where it's like, well, you have to adhere to this or it's over. I heard him
Mm-hmm.
also compare him to Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, you and I both spoke on it. It was just like, dude, like, well, Carmelo's side of it was there was no communication. But when there was communication on what his role needed to be, you can
He
argue
was
he did it
balling.
to the best of his ability and one of the best in the league at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of those going on where they're just consistently looking to try to use the aggressive guy, and it's other words,
Yeah.
I'm saying, the other words and tactics that can be used, what I mean, that the media is doing to try to make this dude look like way worse than what it is for
Yeah.
real. I mean, obviously he didn't work in terms of that team, and that's fine. We all know what he's capable of. We already know that as soon as he get on another team, it's back to triple double business. Actually,
It's
when you
gonna
look at
be.
his numbers, when you look at his numbers, even with the Lakers, it's pretty much triple double business.
Let.
What I mean? It's come on, man.
I'm gonna
I
say
just
this, okay?
Yeah.
Westbrook is a very intelligent person. All right, as
Mhm.
far as his get back and plotting his revenge. Okay, one of the teams that's going after him is the Chicago Bulls.
Mm.
The Lakers have to play the Bulls in back-to-back games
Mhm.
in the last stretch of the season. Let's say the Lakers are in a situation where they need those two games to get into the playoffs or to play in.
Oh man,
I guarantee you it's gonna be a 20-point triple double. Both
I
games.
guarantee. Yeah,
Both
I
games. Both
guarantee.
games, bro. If he goes to Chicago, that's gonna be the situation.
Yeah.
And let's take it another perspective, okay? When they won the championship, all right, and was it 2020? They won it in 2020 in the bubble, right? That
Right.
following start to the season, yeah, they got Westbrook, but they also gave away 13 of the guys that were on the roster for the championship run.
Come on now.
So obviously, putting 15 new players in a bunch and try to make something happen is not going to work out in your favor. Not even a
Never,
little
bro.
bit.
Never, bro. It's sad, man. It's sad in terms of slander.
Hmm.
We all know those guys like who they like. They hate who they hate. and it just gets to a point where it starts off as like critiquing or being critical towards somebody, and the next thing um, you could be talking about chicken noodle soup, and next thing you know, they're like, yeah, but Westbrook, and it's just like, bro,
Yeah.
like what,
Yes.
like any
Yes.
topic that you talk about the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you somehow like lead that into Westbrook,
Yep.
or something, maybe Westbrook does something amazing. We spoke about it before. Westbrook does something amazing, um, and then all of a sudden, but like all the clips that they show is him breaking
Yeah.
shots, or
Yeah. Yep.
what I mean, there's a real
Yep.
psychological thing that's
Yep.
going on with there. Like I said, I'll
Yep.
hold him accountable on things that he didn't do, but I'm definitely not gonna use him as uh the guy that everybody should just step on,
Bro,
and stuff
listen.
like that.
Listen. That team is 25-31,
Yeah.
and you have 3 players from the top 75 team. But
Mm-hmm.
you're blaming one guy who is still averaging 16, 8, and 8
Come on, man.
for the reason you're being 25-31. Now, look, they were playing great basketball when Anthony Davis was showing up every game. When he had that stretch where he was averaging 37 and 14 or whatever the case may be. It was all
Yeah.
sunshine and rainbows. Anthony Davis gets hurt. Now we need to find somebody to blame for this losing stretch. Like, the math ain't mathing for me, okay?
Huh.
It's just not mathing. Now,
Not at all.
you can, like I said, hold them accountable. That's fine. But there's 14 other people on that team. You got 2 guys. One's averaging 30, the other one's averaging 27. For some reason, you can't close out games in the fourth quarter when you have 2 players averaging a combined 60, and then you have 3 players. Let me see. Westbrook's 8, Bron's 8, AD's probably 10 to 12. So you have about 30 rebounds, 60 points, 30 rebounds, 20 assists, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't get the job done. That's a personnel
Real,
issue.
real
Put
quick.
guys around them.
Let's be honest, man. Like even with Bron, congratulations to Bron on all time leading scorer. But even that game in particular, they were getting smacked by OKC. And
Smack.
when everybody was looking at and they were looking at AD, like how come you aren't happy about Bron, you know, doing what he did? It's like, dude,
Great
we were
point.
losing to OKC.
Great point.
We were losing to OKC,
Yep.
bro.
And guess
Come
what?
on.
Guess what? On top of that,
Mm-hmm.
you're losing to OKC. Westbrook and the coach get into it at halftime. Instead of benching Westbrook, Darvin Ham gave him more minutes in the second half. Westbrook had 14 in the fourth quarter, finished with 27 points. They lost.
Mm.
They lost. The shot LeBron hit to pass the record, that was in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
36 points.
Mm-hmm.
He finished with 38. I'm telling you, the math is not mathing for me. And Anthony Davis was nowhere to be found. He had 14 points and 8 rebounds or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, make the numbers work. You had 36 up until the fourth quarter. This is your night. Literally finish the job. Now, I'm going to do something petty. Kobe, very last game of his career, 60 points, hit the game winner. Yeah. Now, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just that one of those. I'm gonna let him have it type things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Lakers, they got reloaded. Like I said, some of the players that they got, but they also picked up Mo Bamba. That's gonna help in the size department. Thomas Bryant, he wasn't happy with his role anymore. Switched teams. The Denver Nuggets of all teams pick him up. That's not gonna bode well because they get stronger in the front line. DeAndre Jordan's getting older. You add in a young guy like Thomas Bryant. I can see DJ mentoring him just a little bit. But Jokic is still the engine that makes that whole team go. So I like that move by them. Yeah, man, the Lakers are reloaded. They're gonna play well. I still see them in that play-in. They're not gonna make it out of that situation, but they'll be in the play-in for sure now. Who Who are some of the biggest winners and losers of the trade deadline for you
Overall, just
overall?
mm,
There's an obvious
I
answer.
mean, I mean, obviously the biggest one is Phoenix.
That's an obvious
Uh,
answer.
yeah, I was like, obviously the biggest one is Phoenix. You
Listen,
know how I feel about Chris Paul, man. I love Chris Paul. Look, man, I love my Miami Heat,
we'll
but
talk about them in a second.
I need my mans to get to the finals again, dude.
KD.
I need Chris Paul, man. I need Chris Paul to get there again.
Ah,
I need Chris Paul to
ah.
get another shot, man.
That's
I
the new
want
Chris
my
Paul,
guy like
man.
the boat crew, man. The boat crew. It need to be
Roberto
three. Don't
Ribeiro,
it need to be it need to be three on that boat with
man.
rings,
Hey,
not just two.
he get to the finals. He turned into the new Chris Paul in them State Farm commercials.
Cliff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cliff Paul turned into, was that his brother or something?
Yeah, Cliff
That's
Paul.
who he
Yeah,
turned
yeah,
into,
yeah.
man.
It'll definitely be I think personally, I think they do have man, I'm gonna say it. I think they have the biggest shot right now in terms of with KD. Everybody, I think, at least on paper, how I look at their games a little bit, they to me they all kind of complement each other. To be honest, um, I think with Chris Paul, playing with Houston, being able to just be like a catch and shoot guy if needed be,
Yeah.
which before that the biggest argument was about the fact that he likes being on the block or like being at the elbow, free throw
Mm-hmm.
elbow,
Yeah.
things of that nature, coming off the screens. I mean the pick and roll and things like that. uh I think this becomes, I mean, being honest, kind of like a similar situation. I don't want to push it way that far, so please just take this super lightly, but it's kind of um like a similar Golden State situation where you got these guys, you got a guy like Book, obviously Book can score. KD, obviously KD can score. Chris Paul, obviously Chris Paul can score.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yep.
like TJ Warren, you know what I mean? So it just kind of like it's kind of like pick your poison at this point, and obviously the two people that you'll pay the most attention to in terms of scoring the ball will be Book and KD, which allows free reign for everybody else on the outside. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So,
Yeah. I like the build of it. The problem I have with the Phoenix deal is you still have DeAndre Ayton.
yeah.
My frustration with that is when you make a trade to get somebody in like that, like Kevin Durant, you have
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of all of the negative things that's going to hinder you from getting a championship. All right, this is an all in type move. DeAndre Ayton should have been gone in that deal. I don't care where you send him, but you can still get value back for him. That's one thing. The other thing about it is I think Dallas getting Kyrie and
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix getting KD kind of cancel each other out. Because think of it like this. When Dallas played Phoenix, he wanted to do it too. Okay?
Right.
But you still had a defensive stopper in Mikal Bridges to at least give him trouble. You had
Right.
obviously Kevin Durant is one of the greatest shooters of all time, but you still had Cam Johnson, okay? You lose both of those guys, you add in a super weapon like KD. Now you're thinking, okay, now we'll probably end up beating Dallas. We'll probably end up beating Golden State or the Lakers, whoever the case may be. But
Mm-hmm.
then Dallas goes out and gets a nuclear weapon of their own and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
So now it becomes which stars are going to mesh together better than the others. If
Right.
Luka and Kyrie can get on the same page like that and get the ball rolling, I would still possibly take Dallas in a 7-game series, depending on how KD is feeling, because he's coming off an injury too. I think a MCL sprain, so that's not anything easy to keep bouncing back from. This is round 3 with that knee. So
Definitely.
I like the team, I like the build, but I'm just saying, don't sleep on Dallas because They got Kyrie, they got Luka. Yeah, Christian Wood can hoop. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's streaky, but he can get hot. They still have Reggie Bullock. They still have a few young pieces that can play
They
pretty
still have
well.
JaVale, right?
Huh?
They still have JaVale, right?
They got JaVale. They still got Dwight Powell too. So they're
Mm.
very long, very athletic, and pretty much 1 through 4 and sometimes 5 can shoot from deep. So you're gonna space the floor with I think Luka's number 1 in scoring right now. I think he's number 1. And then once you get to the playoffs, Kyrie's history speaks for itself. He can get the job done. So I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see if they mesh quickly. Boom, 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 boom. They have a identity or style of play that's going to be able to carry it into the playoffs. First team to do that is going to be successful. I still think DeAndre Ayton is going to be an issue. A little bit his attitude. Funny thing, nobody's talking about DeAndre Ayton and how he said he hasn't even said a word to the coach the entire summer. Barely speaks to him the entire season. But Phoenix ain't got no vampires.
And the biggest thing, like with DeAndre Ayton, man, I think the only way for them to win, to be honest, he I mean, he obviously
25 and 10.
Yeah, he obviously can score. He's gonna have to be way more of an anchor than a scorer, to be honest.
Baby doo-doo. Baby doo-doo.
He's good.
That's it.
Dude is gonna have to rebound and shot block like his life depend on it, man. In order for them to win the game, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
if Phoenix runs into Denver before the conference finals, DeAndre Ayton gonna be in the world of trouble, man.
Yeah.
World of trouble.
And not even to go back to it, man. It's the same reason why I was upset about the whole Dwight thing with the Lakers, man.
Yeah.
It's just you need somebody that big to bump a guy like that, man. You know, Joker can do anything he want to do, man.
Yep.
Anything he put his mind to, it's a reality. And man, when they come to that guy, especially going into the postseason,
Denver is. I mentioned the Thomas Bryant move, okay?
Yeah.
Denver is very interesting because obviously they're gonna go as he goes. But Denver's interesting because he doesn't have to score the basketball at all. Literally does not. He can get 15 assists, 15 rebounds, and they win by 20 because MPJ is getting healthy. And I don't think so when he first came into the league, he was a streaky scorer. Very streaky. Now, he's finding where his spots are. He's finding, all right, I can consistently break these dudes down. Jamal Murray is healthy. Anytime you got a guy that can drop multiple 40-point games, 50-point games in the playoffs, not to be trifled with. Aaron Gordon is finding his stride. I was on his case the past couple of years because he wasn't earning his contract. He was worried about the dunk contest and not getting the 50 and this, that, and the other thing, and forgot all about that. He came into the season putting in work. He's a legitimate starter on a championship caliber team, okay? The only concern I really have is Denver's bench, okay? Can you give me a guy, which they're probably going to be answering pretty soon because they got rid of Bones Holland. Westbrook's available. John Wall is available. Will Barton, he just got waived by, I think, Washington. Yeah, he just got waived by Washington. He started for the Nuggets last season, I think, for 71 games, averaged 15 a night. They'll probably end up going back to him because he's familiar with how things are done there. And you still got Uncle Jeff there. Any given moment, he can put somebody on the poster. Still one of the best in the league at that. But Jeff Green is, when you look at building a championship team, Jeff Green always pops up on these teams that's looking for guys to fill out a championship roster. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those where there's smoke, there's fire. Jeff Green should have had a long-term contract many, many times ago. All right, many teams ago. Should have had a long-term contract. But, that's how some of these things go. Glad he's on the team. But I think Denver's very, very much in a position to go deep into the playoffs. And if Joker is putting up 25, 12, 15, or whatever the case may be, nobody is beating Denver in a 7-game series. I don't care who you are. Not Memphis, Phoenix, the Clippers, they're hit or miss. They can be quickly dismantled if they're not hitting their outside shots. So I like Denver. I like Denver a lot.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the standings right now, and yeah, if we were to do the playoffs right now, I don't see any one of these teams really being a match 7 games with the Nuggets, man.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Keeping it a
Nobody.
buck. And,
Nobody.
even for number two, as much as I love number two, they done talked themselves into like looking like last place right now. To be honest,
Listen, that's one of those things where you have to understand that you're not that yet.
right?
You can't talk like
And
you're
for
a
everybody, it's
championship.
the Grizzlies I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm
For
pretty sure
everybody.
everybody knew. Listen,
Mhm.
you can't talk like you're that guy yet when you're not. You got beat in the playoffs by the very same team you continuously call out and say you got next. And then
Yep.
you start talking about them in the regular season, about we're approaching the regular season. Like, we want that matchup. Can't wait to play y'all. We on your block. And you get mollywopped on Christmas Day without Steph Curry in uniform. This is not the problem that you want. First of all, after that, you should have not spoken anymore. But instead of doing that, you double down. You say, we're not worried about anybody in the Western Conference at all. Then you get into an argument with at courtside with Shannon Sharp during the Lakers game. You end up losing the next 7 or 8 games after that happens. You're getting too caught up in your own hype. You think, hey, we want all the smoke, right? Like the Street Profits, we want the smoke. Street Profits ain't got no championships though. Y'all gotta stop talking so much and putting a big target on your back that you're not ready to handle yet.
Yeah.
Golden State was talking for years because they could handle the target and win championships at the same time. Y'all can't do that and win playoff games or win regular season games. Y'all gonna get lit up come postseason because y'all just not like that. Not like you thought you were. You're not a surprise anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even with Ja, man, with Ja, when Ja, made mention of, hey, we're the most hated team and blah blah blah, like we talked about before, dude. This is that's a self issue. Like this is self
Yeah.
induced. Hate,
Sounds like a personal problem.
You brought it up. You brought it in. Like everybody else was on your side. Everybody
Yep.
else, and I
Yep.
like the Grizzlies. I love the Grizzlies. I love how they play and everything like
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, so this happened overnight because y'all kept talking.
Yeah.
This happened overnight because y'all kept trying to fight everybody to where like now it got kind of like boring, like weird. You know what I mean? It went from
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this team kind of gritty. This team, for like, no pun intended. This this team got kind of, they got some heart. We see them as up and coming and stuff like that. Like they there. Okay, a few words here and there. Okay, back it
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Yep.
I'm with that. All right, cool. Just let them know that you're not about to get pushed around because y'all the young bucks. Okay, now y'all chirping a little too much, like
Yeah.
for people who ain't done nothing yet.
And look,
Okay, now y'all look
I
kind
know
of weird,
I
talking crazy
know
about everybody.
I know you'll agree with this, okay, what I'm about to say
Yeah.
next. We're both in agreement. Before we like the Grizzlies, like what they brought to the table, the toughness. I have a lot of respect for Mike Conley.
Right.
A ton of respect for how he plays. I think to this point he's never gotten a technical foul or something like that. But if you take John Morant and you pair him with OJ Mayo, Tony Allen, Rudy Gay, Zebo, Mark Gasol, that team wins a championship. That's how confident I am in Ja's ability to play basketball, okay? They win the championship if John Morant is on that team. Because you look across, you're playing OKC, or you look across, you're going through the Lakers or Dallas. They can beat all of those teams if you swap Mike Conley for John Morant. Okay? John Morant fits that mold. All right, he ain't gangster, but he got heart. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening right now is everybody's calling their bluff, and it's not going as planned. You know what I'm saying? So if they just stop talking so much, played their game, because mind you, they didn't make any significant changes over the trade deadline. They still got the
Right.
same team, and they still locked in the West.
Right.
Scary. On top of the fact that Brandon Ingram's just now getting healthy. Zion
Mm-hmm.
Williamson is not completely healthy yet. The New Orleans Pelicans is a problem. The Kings are a problem. Dallas and Phoenix reloaded. The Clippers reloaded. We'll talk about them because they're in a hunt for another guard, another starting guard, I'll say, because they picked up Bones. They let Reggie walk because Russell Westbrook's available. And that's a good possibility he can end up there, Chicago or Miami. I think he's supposed to let everybody know by the end of tomorrow night where he was heading. So
Miami.
so it's between Chicago, Miami, and Clippers. If Russ ends up on the Clippers, and then you have Zubac and Mason Plumlee, the Clippers are a problem as well. The
Yeah.
Clippers are definitely in that conversation to win the championship this season. Albeit you got to have two superstars play basketball for that to happen.
Yeah.
But, injury management, just get them to the playoffs. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Dude.
There's too many teams out there reloading for y'all to be talking crazy like that.
And they're reloading towards the end of the season, which is
Mm-hmm.
like the biggest thing. We talking second half.
Yep.
We got all the cobwebs out the way. This is the first
Mm-hmm.
time in a minute that I would even say like a lot of these teams are actually playing more with each other than the last couple years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like obviously it
Yep.
didn't work in terms of Brooklyn, but finally we get a real chance to see Kawhi, Paul George out there together. You know what I mean?
The
It's been a
the
lot of
the
back and forth over the last few years about I'm hurt, I'm playing.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm hurt, I'm playing. You know what I
Now
mean?
look,
Things like
look, look with the Clippers though. All right.
mm-hmm.
You have Paul George, you have Kawhi. The most important part of that team is going to be their bench. And specifically, I'm talking about Norman Powell. We talked about Phoenix. That's their problem. We'll talk about Golden State. That's their problem. Memphis, their bench isn't strong either. A lot of these teams, they don't have a bench or a complete 10-man rotation like the Clippers have. And again, they have Plumlee, Zubac, mentioned the two big guns. You got Norman Powell, potentially have Westbrook. You got Bones Holland. You have Batum. You have the Morris twin, the right Morris twin, and you still have Man. Oh, you talking about the right Morris twin line?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm sick of the other one, bro. Get him out of here.
He said,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
want
Talking about
to get him out of here.
Whiplash twin.
Yeah, man. But
Uh,
yeah. So like, you have a full 10-man rotation that you can go to. You have some young guys, you have vets, and you have superstars. They have everything that you need on top of an owner that's not afraid to spend money. Executives in the front office that can get the job done. You have Jerry West as an advisor, which is a major plus that no other organization has other than Miami. Still waiting to see that Pat Riley magic be at work. But no team has that. And Tyronn Lue. Nobody team has everything, top to bottom, the things that you need to win a championship. Not to mention a two-time champ and a two-time Finals MVP in Kawhi. So they're, in my opinion, in the West, they are the sleeper that, if they're healthy, they can get it done type thing. Right now, my pick is Denver to be in the conference finals versus either Phoenix or Dallas. If the Clippers get their act together and get healthy, it's gonna be scary out west, and Memphis is not even gonna sniff the conference finals.
no, it's definitely gonna be those teams, and I'm a dude. As much as like I said, as much as I love Memphis, I'll definitely be looking at them like, yeah, you said it was easy. You said it was simple. And
Mm-hmm.
like CJ McCollum just tweeted out, man, this is
This is
kind of
his
your
fault.
fault.
This is his
This is
fault.
your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Just put the
He could
whole
have just.
entire NBA on the West.
And you know what's crazy about it though is, I feel like that's pretty accurate though. Like, like the GMs, they hearing stuff and they like, you know,
Yeah,
our window just might be closing. Maybe we should do something about this before the next group comes and takes that from us. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
definitely.
That could be it. Now,
And even from us. Oh, my bad, my bad.
now what was you saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna throw this in. I'm like, even from us, from our personal experience, man. Like I know, man, Ishbia feeling like feeling golden right now. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so we both worked at UWM. I've
Yeah,
had a lot of conversations with Matt.
yeah,
Lunches, meetings, conferences, whatever the case may be. Trading emails and phone calls. A lot of interaction with Matt.
yeah,
And just from two people that's been around him, once I seen the trade go through, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's something that
yeah.
he would do right out of the gate. Right
Uh-huh.
out of the gate, that's exactly something he would do. So from
Make a power move right
former,
now.
from what'd you say?
I say he like, yo, let's make power moves right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So from people that's been around him, spent time with him, or whatever the case may be, worked for him,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. You know
yeah.
what I'm
It
saying?
makes
It's like it's not like like when I seen it, I wasn't like, I was like, I can see that. Come to find out, reports came through. They was like, yeah, Matt Ishbia pushed for this to get done by the end of the night. I was like, yeah, that sounds like something he would do.
sound like something he'll
Sound like
do.
something he'd do. Facts, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
deal totally made sense. That's a big move, for any owner, let alone a dude that's his first day on the job. That's what he's gonna do. Swing a trade to get Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
Hey, more power to him. From let's go from Phoenix and let's talk about Miami.
Okay.
Um, y'all know my stance on the Miami Heat. Okay, Heat Nation. The highest the highs, to the lowest the lows. I'm gonna rock with you. Okay, but don't insult my intelligence. Don't tell me that there was no way you could have got rid of Kyle Lowry when the Clippers swung a deal to get rid of Reggie Jackson. Don't tell me you can't get rid of Kyle Lowry when the Lakers swung a deal for Westbrook and his $47 million old contract.
Come on, man.
You can't tell me that you can't find a deal for Kyle Lowry when the Philadelphia 76ers traded a Ben Simmons who had not played a single game in a year
Hmm.
for one of the best two guards in NBA history. You can't convince me there's no market. You can't. Just drop my cough drop. That's how mad I am. That's how mad I am. But listen, you can't convince me of that.
So
Now look,
amen, don't
Kyle Lowry, if we're looking into, if we want to nitpick, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook's numbers blow Kyle Lowry's out of the water.
No, what
Out
water?
of out of the water. All right? And for my people from I don't know if y'all watching anybody from the Crispy Picks group. All right? Like my man's once said, in any water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In any water.
In any
In
water.
any water, bro. So listen,
Any.
I'm not going to sit here and act like, you know what, we're going to be okay. No. No. It's not okay because we still have Kyle Lowry. All right? Should have found a way to get rid of him. The other issue is it's going to be an issue up until somebody says something to him. Jimmy Butler, you're not a role player, bro. You're not meant to just play a role. You're not meant to just, all right, you know what? Move the ball around. This is how the play is designed. So I'm going to kick it to this guy in this spot. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. So I trust him to knock this down. No. No, 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 no. Late in games, it's like Jay Farrell was talking about Chris Bosh in 2014. Okay? You should not be allowed near a basketball or any round objects of any kind. unless your name is Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter. Tyler Hero,
Right.
spot up somewhere. Jimmy needs the ball. Jimmy needs to be aggressive and score. Jimmy Butler is a guy, if he wanted to, he could average 30 a game.
For
And
sure.
it's not like he would just, all of a sudden get hot and he's having a good year or anything like that. No. If he wanted to, he could. And most people don't realize he's 6'8", 220. I'm saying he probably has a very low body fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a strong, solid 6'8" dude right there. Can take a lot of punishment, can dish it out, can play defense, score with the best of them, but he just has this mindset like he's just a role player. Like, he's supposed to just play his role, follow the game plan. Like, bro, the game plan is built around you. It's built around you and Bam to do what you do best and attract the defense and put pressure on the defense and the post and the block and all these different areas that you can have scoring opportunities in. But sometimes you just catch Jimmy throwing the ball around. Check the box score. Jimmy's 4 of 7. Team's down by 15. It's 5 minutes left in the game. Like, what are you doing? You just out there jogging, getting his cardio in, playing some solid defense, getting some stops, but can't score a lick on the other side of the ball because he won't shoot. It's the most mind-boggling thing I've ever seen.
Dude, you are Jimmy, like Seth freaking Rollins. You are Jimmy freaking Butler,
Jimmy
bro.
freaking Butler.
Jimmy freaking Butler. I need you to do exactly what bro just said, Jimmy. I need that homeless scruffy in a bubble ain't got no cut. You know what I mean? That Jimmy.
One of
I
the
need
greatest performances we will ever see in NBA Finals history.
come on, man. I
One of the
need
best ever.
I don't need big booty Lowry like in there like just messing
Man,
things up, man. No
just running
offense,
like
bro.
this.
Just you know what I mean? I just don't
Just
like
looking
and I
just
watch
looking
and I
goofy, man.
and I respect your game, Kyle, but it's not it right
I
now.
don't.
Like
I do not. Listen, this is what I don't
not it.
respect about Kyle. This is what I don't respect
Yeah,
about Kyle. He
got you.
is the real Cliff Paul. Okay?
Mm,
Keep this in mind. Whenever teams could not get Chris Paul, guess who
yeah,
they checked in on? Kyle Lowry.
that,
Okay?
that's hilarious.
The Chris Paul deal fell through. He went to Phoenix. We got re-grabbed Kyle Lowry. Okay?
Yeah.
The frustrating thing about Kyle Lowry is he always thinks he's doing something impactful.
Mm,
He always he always thinks he's doing something that's bigger in the grand scheme of things to help the team win when he's actually doing nothing. And if you watch Miami, they play 1,000 times better when he's not playing. 1,000 times better. You don't have those senseless turnovers that everybody thinks Westbrook is notorious for. Watch Miami Heat basketball, okay? Kyle Lowry will get a rebound, throw it full court, and get mad because Bam and Jimmy didn't want to jump 40 inches in the air to catch the basketball that was thrown way over their head.
mm-hmm.
Why are you doing things that don't make sense? Why are you shooting from 30 feet out, 16 seconds left on the shot clock,
Right.
3 4 point game? Um, I believe we pay a small forward by the name of Jimmy Butler, 6'8",
Mm-hmm.
crazy hair. I don't know if you've seen him, but I believe we pay him nearly $40 million a year to do that. That's not your role. Your
Right.
role is to make sure he gets the ball. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said he was going to do in the press conference that they held for Kyle when he came to the team. My job is to make sure Jimmy gets touches.
Right.
That's not what you're doing. Bamboozled me, hoodwinked, led astray, run
Mm.
amok. Like old boy was saying, was that Dave Chappelle and Men in Tights?
Yeah.
Sherwood Forest landed on us.
And I'm gonna
That's
be real
exactly.
with you. I need sorry to interrupt. I need Bam to step up a little bit more as well, man.
He's starting to.
He's
He's
starting to.
he's starting to.
I don't wanna be the type, especially in terms of, again, I love the Miami Heat. That's my team.
Mm-hmm.
I I like the starting to, but I don't wanna exhale until I see like that is consistent. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, because it's definitely
Absolutely.
one of those situations where like he'll get too comfortable, and then
Hmm.
it's just like, why are we losing these games where you should be the all-star that you are?
And then we'll look up. He'll have 14 points and 5 rebounds.
Come on, man.
And
Come on.
that's what I don't understand about young players. Okay, in today's NBA, young players, especially big men. Okay,
Hmm.
if you see them dominate for like 8 to 10 games, 25 and 10, 30 and 15, 30 and 12, 30, 12 and 8, 30, 12 and 5, 30 and 10. See them dominate 8 to 10 games straight. And then suddenly they'll have one game where they're like, all right, I can chill.
Right.
Like, bro, this is how you get your money, first of all. Second, this is how you get your ring. And I don't think a lot of the young players understand that doing the same thing you did to get you successful. Just keep
Hmm.
doing that same thing. All right.
Yeah.
On the flip side of the Bam and the Jimmy and the Miami Heat thing is they do have a lot of guys in that locker room that any given moment they can get hot, or you put them in a tough game, they can get the job done. But to try to win games on hope and pray, it's not going to get you through the Eastern Conference, where you got to go through Philly, Milwaukee, Boston. Brooklyn is out of the way thanks to Sean Marks blowing that team up. But uh, Cleveland, New York, they've woken themselves up as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams you got to go through, and hope and pray isn't going to get it done if Jimmy is not putting up 30 a night, or Bam isn't putting up 25 and 12, or Kyle, isn't turning the ball over, or Tyler Hero's not averaging 20. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot that needs to go their way for them to win games. Um, Now, what do you think? Just to change pace, we'll
Yeah.
probably end it on the playoff picture post deadline. Okay, who's your conference finals?
Conference finals. Uh Conference finals. I'm gonna go Denver. I'm gonna go Denver Phoenix.
Okay, okay. Um, up until yesterday, I had Denver Dallas for
Mm.
the reason that I told you earlier. Denver will for sure be there. It's gonna be between Denver. It's gonna be between Dallas and Phoenix. All right, and I feel like that those two teams are gonna meet in the conference semis once again. It's gonna go maybe 6 or 7 games. But if Kevin Durant is playing like the KD we normally see, that Dallas series is gonna be over in 5. Okay, simply
Man.
because there's nothing you can do about KD when he's rolling, and you put him in space with one of the greatest floor generals in history. You put Booker out there too. He's going to give you probably 25 to 30 a night. And Andre Ayton, all he has to do is 18-10 and give me 2 blocks a game. You
Yeah.
do that, Kevin Durant will finish the job. He'll for sure
Hmm.
finish the job because Dallas is not like that defensively. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you did that same thing versus Milwaukee or Boston, it may not work out your way.
Hmm.
Against Dallas, who's not a defensive juggernaut, you're gonna win that series in 5 or 6. If
Right.
Kyrie Irving and Luka take over, it's gonna go 7. But I like your pick, Denver and Phoenix. Let's go out east. All right,
Okay.
out east, I'll have a biased pick. Okay, I want to see Miami beat Boston in 6 games or less. All right.
Me too.
Um, Unbiased opinion. All right,
I'm
unbiased. I
biased. I'm
got
biased.
I got Milwaukee and Boston. Um, my only
Yeah.
question mark is they traded away Serge Ibaka. Yes, they got Jay Crowder, but they lose some size and they lose some rebounding and post defense. Okay,
Hmm.
the thing they gain is floor spacing, toughness, and wing defense. That's probably a move to prepare them to face Boston. My only thing about Boston is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has to be Kobe to Jason Tatum's Shaq. He can
Right.
be just as dominant, put up just as many points, defense, rebounding, all that other stuff. But late game situations, he has to be in a position to knock down open shots and feed off Tatum a little more. Let Tatum finish the job. I
Mm.
think last year there was a little bit of a pecking order discrepancy when they got to the finals. You didn't know who was going to be the guy taking the shots. I think if they would have kept things the same, Tatum closed out Milwaukee. He did a good job, against Boston, closing them out. Keep the thing rolling. All right, do what got you there. Let Tatum close the deal. Big games on the road. Got him all the way to the finals, and it was like everybody wanted a piece of the glory. You know what I mean? So I think Boston and Milwaukee. I feel like we're gonna see in the finals.
Wait, real quick. I think Boston. I think Boston Bucks as well. I think Boston Bucks. To be honest, one because this is unbiased. Because I feel like Miami, man, they still never got a chance to get a solid anchor in terms of the center position,
Hmm.
who can strictly just rebound and block shots and free up Bam to be Bam.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so that's gonna be a lot troubling going down the
Uh,
road when you facing up against a Embiid, a Embiid, or you
Bam
facing up
has,
against
not to mention, Bam has a Robert Williams problem.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like those guys who those corn fed dudes, those ham hocks, and what I mean, where it's strictly like they should have played
Eating
football,
neck
like
bone.
those type. You know what I mean? Like them
Yeah.
type of guys where like you going up against those big bodies, and by the time, like, say for instance, heavens, hopeful that they do make it like we want them to. There, he's gonna be beat up
Mm-hmm.
by the time he get, because you facing up against an Embiid potentially, facing up against a Giannis potentially, facing up against Robert Williams potentially. Like it's so many different bodies, and you still have to score the ball as well as
Yep.
defend. So
Mm-hmm.
like your role is a lot different than say like a Robert Williams or something
Yeah.
like that, who's strictly there to literally make your life like
Just to beat you up.
just to beat you up,
Just to
man.
beat
So
you
I
up.
definitely got Boston and Bucks uh, um, for that, strictly off that. And then when it comes to Philly, of course, um, that's strictly on the fact that I have zero faith in James and them, like as the season progresses,
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I hate
I mean,
Philly. I hate Philly.
I love James, but it's just like, dude, I just don't. You have not shown me time and
I
time again to me that yeah.
I'll never pick a Doc Rivers led team to do anything successful. Never.
There you go.
Never
There
ever.
you go.
Not even a little
That's it
bit.
for me.
Not even a little bit. Especially after his son got punched in the face too. So no,
All right.
no, never gonna pick him. Russell Westbrook will make a difference if he goes to Miami. He will make a difference because if you're playing Milwaukee, you force Drew Holiday to match up with Russ or Chris Middleton. I like
Mm,
both of those matchups because if Drew is on Russ, that means who's guarding Jimmy?
right.
It's probably going to be Jay Crowder. I'm still taking Jimmy.
Mm,
If it's Chris Middleton, I'm still taking Jimmy. If you play Boston, Marcus Smart is probably going to be on Russ or Jaylen Brown.
mm-hmm,
Anybody else, I'm taking Jimmy.
mm-hmm.
I'm taking Bam too if he can get a consistent mid range or a jump hook and pull Robert Williams out just a little bit because everybody else, they give Boston a lot of problems, especially Max Strus and Tyler Hero. I don't know what
Mm,
happens to those two when they play everybody else. When they play Boston, they show up, and I can respect that.
right.
Um, but yeah. If we get Russ, we gonna be somebody, grown man problems is something that you got to deal with. All right,
For sure.
Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, and Phoenix. Who wins the championship versus who?
I go finals. I go Phoenix, Boston. Mm-hmm.
What?
I go Phoenix, Boston. Only reason why I'm thinking of that is because I'm too worried about Middleton and a couple other guys on that side in terms of injury. Um, and I think that Boston, even with their mistakes, have at least shown themselves proven to at least make it there. You know what I mean? So I think that in terms of those two, when it comes to Phoenix and Denver, Man, they playing. Look, Denver is playing unbelievable right now. Uh, but again, when I look at a book and those guys, I'm just going off the experience, I guess, at this point. Just figuring that out, guys that's already been there, things of that nature. So it's not like a heightened sense of, hey, it's oh, this game, finals. It's like, hey, we know what we have to do, and let's just do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's a lot of guys. So I guess you can say for me, I mean, outside, like I said, outside of the Bucks, who's been there, obviously, Boston's been there, obviously. Bucks is just injury related to me, and then
Okay.
the rest is just experience.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 out of the
So
4 teams got experience going there. So
so Denver. Okay. If Jokic and everybody else, if everybody's healthy,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be a tough out for Phoenix only because the big men, strictly the big men are just going to be in trouble constantly.
Facts.
Okay.
I agree.
That's my only concern. I would take Phoenix if Denver wasn't getting as healthy and stronger as they were. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning towards Denver as the favorites right now. If Kevin Durant is healthy, I got Phoenix. But I think it's just going to depend on the health of the Denver others or the health of Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Out east, I agree with your premise about Milwaukee. Chris Middleton is a concern of mine. Haven't seen him look remotely close to himself at all in the games that he's played this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Brook Lopez is playing well. They got Jay Crowder. He hasn't played in several months. Not really trusting his rhythm when he's coming back. Somebody's probably gonna punch Grayson Allen in the face at some point in the future.
Man.
I, yeah, that might be just a bias too,
Yeah.
because I love watching Giannis. I love watching Giannis dominate the force that he plays with. He's a 7 foot tall Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Absolute 100,000% every single time he steps on
Uh-huh.
the court. So
I
all right.
just think going down the road, going down the road, they need Middleton way more than they think to me.
Yeah, yeah,
And that body, man, if that body ain't healthy, it's
yeah.
do I think like you said, do I think Giannis could drop like 15 games every time? Yeah.
He
But I
can.
just hope that's enough to make it there because it's gonna
Yeah.
be exhausted.
So to answer that question, I got Denver, Boston
Mm,
in the finals.
okay.
I'll never take the Celtics.
Yeah.
So I got Denver winning the chip this year. You see either
Okay.
Denver or Phoenix winning the chip.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I
my
got
picks, but
Phoenix. I got
I
Phoenix.
I
West got it to me.
appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sticking on with me, sticking on live with me.
For sure.
Make sure y'all go like, subscribe to Doom Odom, Koala Wolf. Show love and appreciation to him there. Get this
Yeah.
video a like, subscribe to my channel. That's one more for the good guys.
Peace.